It's coming back, y'all. We gotta set up our skills, y'all. Because I'm pretty sure we only got one extra. Cool. So we did it. We did it, y'all. There's still like a bunch more like skills that we need to actually get. It's kind of ridiculous how many of these things there are. But there's a very particularly interesting thing that's going to be happening as of right now. And I wanted to share this little tidbit of information before we go any further into this case. Just so you all know, Danganronpa has a bad ending. I'm not sure if everyone knows that or not, if they're watching this video or whatnot. I do plan to actually do the bad ending. So we're going to do both bad ending and good ending. Or rather, canonical ending, I suppose. I wouldn't necessarily say it's good, but yeah. There are two little ending pieces to this bit, and if things could just go. Why are you not showing up? Please stop. Could you please? I'm showing up on my end. Hold that. It's turning on. There we go. Is it good? Is this finally a good bit? Okay, cool, awesome. As I said before, let's go into a quick edit here again, because stupid Twitch is like this. Chapter 5 trials, and yeah, I do have the trials in there to give that little indication. That is technically there's two, so I'm gonna be saving a miss between this where the trigger happens. But till then, let's get going. Shantly.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one...
I still like how he says who done it. Just not the murderer or the black end, it's who done it. It's such a childish way of doing things.
Then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko! There's no other explanation.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No! That's a ghost!
I'm with Hero on this one. That's a ghost. See?
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology!
Wait, ghosts have technology?
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
One important trait Kyoko has proves why it doesn't belong to her: piercing gloves, face. I honestly don't know on this one. I really don't. I want to say gloves.
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion.
Then why would you ask gloves right now?
I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
That's fair, Hero. You gotta make sure to get all those bud pieces, yes. There's no way the corpse was Kyoko. Can't prove why. We're gonna be stuck here and the case won't move forward. So I don't have any choice but to what? To yell at him? This is a stupid argument, honestly. I love it. Tattoo on right hand, explodes body analysis, fake nails.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the
Exploded
explosion?
body analysis?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Cause that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
I'm glad Bakuya is just like, I'm not doing this. Not today,
That
fam. Like, this is not gonna happen. The explosion was burnt the upper half of the body beyond recognition. The upper half of the body remained on fire and had to be extinguished. Because of this, the upper half is soaked while the bottom half remained dry. Oh, it's the nails, obviously.
Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Alright.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Yes.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
The sad thing is, I don't know exactly where to pierce this conversation. I don't know the body isn't Kyoko's, and I know I could prove it. But
That
yeah,
Kyoko
it's like
there is just a ghost.
tattoo on the right hand.
Impossible.
Well, we can just do tattoo on the right
Okay,
hand, right?
then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
I think we could.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
Where would it be?
This entire discussion
that's the
is
only problem,
idiotic.
is that there's some things that just become too idiotic that you're just like, huh, how do I counter this? Like, where is the thing that I start off first of where it goes wrong?
That
This is exactly that,
Kyoko
too.
there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
How do I...
Okay,
There
then
we
prove
go.
it.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the
Explosion!
Then she was wearing gloves before.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that
dang it.
corpse
No,
is
I didn't want-
absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
This is still just kinds of bad.
That Kyoko!
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
Come on.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
Dang it,
They
I
got
just-
burnt
just
up in
one
the
below.
explosion.
Then she was
that's
wearing
good.
gloves
That's good,
before
I
the
actually didn't get that one.
explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Nope, that's not it. That's not it at all.
Shoot!
Okay, so that's not it. That's for sure not it. If there's any time that I die in this case, it'll be right here.
That
I'm sure of it.
Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Okay.
Impossible.
Okay,
Hurry up.
then prove it.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves.
Well,
Oh
yeah,
my
because
God.
that corpse is.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
Oh, come on.
That Kyoko!
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
There, right
The
here.
dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
Nope, that's not it either.
Shoot!
Oh my god. Where is this stupid idiot coming from?
That Kyoko there is
Explode
just
the
a
body
ghost.
analysis, fake nails.
Impossible.
Okay, then
Fake
prove
nails.
it. Prove she's not a ghost.
Oh, it would
The
be,
dead
it'd be at
body
the glove
wasn't
part.
wearing gloves.
It would be at the glove part because the
They
nails
got
wouldn't be able
burnt
to work
up in
with
the
the gloves.
explosion.
That's just
Then she was
just
wearing
typical
gloves
thing.
before the explosion.
So it's right here.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
There we go.
No,
Got him.
that's wrong.
Got him. You flow through idiot logic. Because that was idiot logic.
No. There's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails. Don't you think?
Nah.
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
It has nothing to do with complication. It has everything to do about... He's just so confident.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Dang, that's harsh.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
I don't recall the anime having this moment, the stupid hero moment. I'm really sad if that's the case, because I don't remember it. I don't remember the anime too well, but god dang, dude, that was... Just one of those things. It's like, really, this is the stupidest thing ever. I love it.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from here. Well, I think it's pretty obvious who it is, right? Make an argument. Sprinklers. So the sprinklers are probably going to be our top priority right now.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out.
I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file.
Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
With the right hand. The right hand, we could do that. And one thing that could tell us was on the victim's own body. Yep.
If Kyoko really is
Still alive.
Then who died?
There's gotta be some...
I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition, and there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file.
Part. It's this part where it's no
Well,
identifiable.
if we can't identify the body...
then there's nothing else we can do, right?
It just disappeared. Oh.
If Kyoko really...
Then who died?
This
There's
is-
gotta be some...
I don't think so. The
I
face
swear,
was
I've missed so
scorched
many
beyond
things just
recognition, and there
because
wasn't
this-
any description
the
in the
way this
Monokuma
is.
file.
I don't know
Well,
why.
if we can't identify the body...
Then there's
was
nothing
bad.
else we can do,
God
right?
dang it. Come on, Lost, you gotta be better than this.
Kyoko
You just-
really...
Then who
just
died?
get a
Gotta
little
be
bit further
some-
in.
I don't
Just a
think
little
so.
bit.
The face was scorched beyond and there wasn't any description in the Monokuma.
Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do,
Oh,
right?
Why did just miss it entirely? And I
If
pretty much
Kyoko
blown
really-
away
Then
all
who
those 10
died? Gotta
seconds
be
that I
some-
just
I don't
acquired.
think so. The face was scorched beyond and there wasn't any description.
Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do,
Oh,
right?
Why is this so hard? I should just not even
If
worry
Kyoko
about
really-
silencing
Then who
things. I
died?
really
Gotta be
shouldn't.
I don't think so. The
That's
face
like,
was
yeah, 'cause it's
scorched and there
creepy.
wasn't any description in the
But over
Monokuma.
here I
Well,
could
if
do
we
it.
can't identify the...
There we go. Got
No,
him.
that's wrong.
It's just easier that way, honestly.
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real?
Yeah, for eel.
If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
A cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
I don't know about Toko just saying bitch is a wonderful sight to see. I definitely... I'm sorry. Okay, back to class track.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
Compare the tattoo to other information we have. The victim's identity should become clear. That should be the little file thing that I have over here. This one? Let's see. It says at something young age, every member of Fenrir gets a tattoo somewhere on their body. That's kind of weird how it's actually on this, but I'm guessing that's the 100%.
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is... Well, it's... Oh my god, why do I have to do Hangman? I do not like Hangman's Gambit at all. It just feels like it's just not really there. You can, like, look at this. It's just a nothing. It's a nothing, like, minigame.
Now I understand.
Like, out of all the stuff here, because I can handle the rhythm thing, I get that point.
The
Hangman's
representation
Gambit,
of
I do not,
Fenrir is a wolf.
and I just... Every time, it's just like, why? Just stop it. Just let me present evidence. I like doing that. Let me do that. Let me be more Phoenix Wright on this.
Fenrir, the wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Really? Wait, he's the child? And, oh, and oh, okay. I was about to say, like, how is it he... apparently Loki went down with a female. That's pretty cool. Did not know that part.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. Then that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
What? Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
Then who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
In case I want to know, there can only be two suspects. Tako and Chinosara Jack, Makoto and Koiko, Mukuro and the headmaster.
I got
And
it!
her.
You've
That's
narrowed
true.
it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
So the only suspects are now me and Koiko. Damn it, I can't just let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? When she went to go get the pickaxe.
It was at 9 o'clock.
I got it!
I mean, like,
The
I
body
just
must have
remember
been
that.
discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Now then, Toko, what time is it? Well, if we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot now. Okay, go get the pickaxe and meet back here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. till 7:30 a.m. Okay then, looks like the game has begun. If I can't prove an alibi for that period, I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. To do that, I have to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden. I'll make more arguments. It's probably the sprinklers.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
I'm probably gonna do sprinklers at 7:30. That seems like the best part. Yeah, something in the garden that happened. So it's the sprinklers.
We've
for
established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that.
Sure. So it's somewhere
Yeah,
around
from
here.
10 o'clock to 7:30.
Oh no! What? Oh come on,
Shoot.
man! Ah, come on! The sprinklers, though.
We've established a time frame for the murder.
Blood body analysis.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Okay.
Yeah,
so-
from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So
Wait, is
Makoto, if
7:30
you
right
have
there,
any
or-
objections, now would
'Cause
be
there
the
was
time.
another one, right? Or did I already do that? Same time, I think the back course was absolutely totally dry. In which case, yeah, like,
We've established a time frame. It took place somewhere between 9 o'clock. Yep. And Makoto.
Yeah, from 10 to 7:30.
right?
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
So would it be the exploding analysis thing?
We've established.
Okay, so let's look out right here real quick. Burn upper half of the body beyond recognition. Upper half remained extinguished. Because of this, the upper half was soaking wet, while the bottom half remained dry. So it might be
Just
the
a time
exploding
frame for the murder.
analysis. That might be our little
It took
get-in.
place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Let's try that one. What? That one doesn't work either?
Shoot!
So where does it work?
We've established a time frame for the murder.
The fragments
It
near
took
the
place
body.
somewhere between 10 o'clock at night
That's just the bomb. And the bomb doesn't really have anything for us. You know, the bomb was the move from Monokuma.
And 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to
Just like-
7:30.
Yeah, it's like 7:30.
That's more than enough time to
I
commit
don't know
murder,
what
I
else I
should
would do
think.
for this part. That's the only
So
problem. is that
Makoto,
it's
if
just
you
kind
have
of-
any objections, now would be the time.
There's only 2 areas that I could go to. So is it 10 p.m.?
We've established a time frame.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
There we go.
No,
It was the
that's
wrong
wrong.
one. It was the wrong one. Got him. I don't know why the 7:30 one worked with
Actually,
sprinklers, though.
the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words?
You're the one that did it. You're the one with the decent words.
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
I need to prove it wasn't the speakers that got the body wet. All I have to do is hit Toko with a certain evidence that should do it. But look at the body itself, it should make it clear. I mean, just the explosion, I think? I imagine that'd be it. The moment of truth. Okay.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No! I don't know anything. Hold on. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate
like
you.
these random
No!
reasons that pay so much attention to
I
it.
don't know anything. Hold
It's so
on.
confusing for me.
Are you trying to blame me? I admit
I don't know why she
nothing.
thinks that I'm trying to blame her.
Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No! I don't know anything. How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
I mean,
This should
like,
prove it.
She keeps saying that, like, I will have, like, an option to choose between the bullets, but I still don't get the option with the bullets. I
Just
swear.
remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Koiko's the only one without an alibi. Which would mean that Makoto's killer is. No, I refuse to believe it. Koiko murdered someone? That's...
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
Oh, snafu, Snoo. She got some fight in her. Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game, and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
He's so compliant.
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
The sprinklers
Oh, dang.
didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Oh, geez, she's coming after us. I forgot how, like, ruthless she is. This is one of the reasons why I actually do like her. She is one of my favorite characters in this game, despite my status of this game and not liking it. But we'll talk about that more later on. It comes later on. Trust me.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
A certain something at the scene was used to cover the body. Could it be fake nails? Of course. Also obvious. A trap. I mean a tarp.
I got it!
mean,
You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
ooh, pretty fishy, Makoto. I think you did it now. You were the bad person. Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp was used the way Kyoko said. The tarp must have touched the body, right? But the body...
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
Can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to repeat what Kyoko said. Make my argument again. Body explosion, fragments near the body. It's probably near the body. Body before the explosion.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Wait, it didn't get dirty? It should have some blood on it. Yeah, blood on the body. Straining even warned us not to touch it to avoid any blood on us. Map, truth bullets. Okay,
By covering the...
there we go. Now I can actually look at it. Let's see here. We're looking at bloody duct tape. Allow for the arrows. There was also a lot of hollow duct tape. Body before the explosion. Okay, this is the one I want to look at. The corpse had a mask covering its head and a white jacket covering the body. A knife had been thrust into the abdomen and there were bloodstains around the wound. The body had stopped bleeding, but the blood was still wet. It was noted, however, that there was no blood on the ground around the body. So it must be the body before the explosion, in order for this little thing to, like,
The body
actually-
with the tarp. The killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Yeah, that's the one I want. Although I didn't silence the thing, so I wasn't able to get it.
By
But
covering
that's
the body
spot.
with
It's
the
like
killer
all
prevents
the way at
So the
end.
reason that
God
because
dang
the
it.
spring, but the
I hate
underside,
when
it was
they're
totally.
always like
It's
the
because
end.
that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body,
Alright, it's right here. It's
of
literally
course
the
it didn't
last
get
one.
dirty.
There we go, got him.
No, that's wrong. Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Huh? The blood was camouflage?
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
We got blood from right there in the garden, right? Which must mean... Oh, they killed one of the chickens. No! No, the
I
poor
got
little
it.
chicken chicks. No! This is
Could
the
it have
worst
been
death.
Chicken blood?
Oh my god. I don't remember this in the anime at all. I can't believe they left out the worst, like the victim. Because as far as I'm concerned, this is a trial for who killed the chicken, not who killed the student, the 16th one. Poor little Monday.
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
It really is.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off, but the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body. The coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe. But still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh, no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Oh, dang. Kyoko's got us dead rights right now.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Dude, I love when Coco's just like straight up just dead on to you. Like that's the best. I'm gonna save right here just in case there's like a trigger thing happening. I'm not sure if I'll be able to save on the actual trigger, so I just don't want to do the whole entire thing again.
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
The suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. Disguised dead body. Okay.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
Oh no.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
I mean, hey, you can't be wrong on that.
See? Pretty good idea, right?
I love how Hina just went straight for it. Like, that is a good idea.
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Oh, I really wish he was.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back.
Ugh.
So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important, now that we have a knife, what are we gonna do with it? We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway. So what to do? Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Huh? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah.
Then why did you hide that fact?
Ooh! Turn on him! Turn on him right now!
It's not that I hid it. It's just...
I'm the killer. I couldn't be sure what happened exactly last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Dang, that's a lot of convincing. Considering everything up until now, I should be able to make it clear. This seems like it's it. I'm just gonna save as many times as I can. Cause why not? I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. I don't know. I kinda think he is. Gotta make our argument. Distinguished, disguised dead body. That's probably the one we have to like put in. Or fragments near the body.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Dang, they're out.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
I can't believe Makoto is a freaking killer. Already established that the coat was put on the body after the tarp was removed, which means that when the knife was thrusted through the coat into the body.
The knife we found
Okay, so what was the one
lodged in the dead
exploded?
body.
No, it's not that one. Disguised dead body. That's the one we're looking at. That's a little bit piece. Where is it? Disguised dead body. That's the one we want. Murder took place before the sprinklers turned on. The suspect covered the body with a tarp to prevent it from getting wet. Later, they removed the tarp, and the suspect placed the white jacket on the body. The jacket had previously been treated with blood to make it look like a corpse had been wearing it. Okay, so that's not really going to help me out in this case.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
Exploded dead body? That might be it. Alright, exploded dead body, like we'll just say. The upper half of the body remained on fire, because it's so half dry. It was burned upper half of the body. That's all there is to that.
Really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that...
So fragments near the dead body, that's probably the one that I could really use. There were bits of charred debris near the body, should be noted the bomb had been removed from Makoto Monokuma in the gym that disappeared. That doesn't really seem to help me out at all.
Knife before, then... That seals it! Makoto did it!
Just because I had the knife once? That automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it!
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Okay, so...
The knife we found lodged...
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then... That seals it! Makoto did it!
Just because I had the knife, that automatically makes...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question.
Really
you took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man
that's
you
my
are,
one problem
Makoto.
right now is that I don't know the particulars about which one is what.
The knife we found lodged in the dead...
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it?
Gave to Makoto.
I was
don't
afraid
think
of
that's
that.
it either.
If he did have that knife...
The two things that it's showing me doesn't really like give me like a lot of just like, oh, so that totally works. It does not at all. So I'm actually quite confused about which one I should pressure and then what I should use. That's the problem, because I got the one they gave to Makoto, and we got also so we got Makoto's knife thing, and then we got also the stab part. Those are the two parts that we press, or rather that we can press. Murder took place before the sprinklers turned on. The suspect covered the body and the tarp to prevent it from getting wet. Later, when they removed the tarp, the suspect placed the white jacket on the body. The jacket had previously been treated with blood to make it look like the corpse had been wearing it. And that's about it, honestly. That's all there is to that. So... I don't think that's it at all. We don't have anything else up here, but they're going to be pinging later on for sure. Not when the body was found, that's not going to help me at all. Fragments near the body is the possibility for the whole entire getting stabbed bit. But, it's like, if it's a Monokuma file, I could probably do that. Do the explosion of victims identity cannot be placed. Exploded body analysis. Is that one that I have? Or is that, what do I have
Before,
again?
then...
This
That
guy's dead
seals
body.
it! Makoto did it!
This guy's dead body. It just says everything that happened. It's not really any other bit piece to it.
Just because I had the knife...
Exploded body analysis. What does it say again? Has burned the upper half of the body beyond recognition. The upper half of the body remained on fire, had to be extinguished. The upper half was soaked while the bottom half remained dry. I want to say it's explosive body.
Once?
I want to say.
That automatically makes me the killer?
Near the body.
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
The early established that the coat was put on the body after the tarp was removed, which means the knife was thrusted through the coat into the body.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before,
I just
then
remembered what it is.
that seals
Because
it.
the knife isn't.
Makoto did it.
Isn't the kill? Isn't the
Just
death.
because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
So that is the thing that we
getting
use.
stabbed is what killed her.
Nope. That's
No,
not.
that's wrong.
It's not what killed her. I don't know why it took me that long, honestly. Because like I was thinking there's like a different layer
Wait,
to this.
hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it. In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
I'm with you on this. That's what Makoto did. That sounds like him. It's a full-fledged murderer. Terrible person. The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot. No. There's no way that's possible. The exact condition of the body was written down for everyone to see. Like, now I gotta have to actually look at it. They were, however, the victim had been stabbed a single time. It literally says single time.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Then the knife...
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer.
By me, I mean the killer.
They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kinda goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Jeez.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
Yeah, you're like honestly, you're just told instead of just being the ass about it.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion.
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
There's only one explanation I can think of for the explosion. It's the Monokuma stuff. Let's see here. It's not Monokuma's account. It's where are you at? No, not body. It's the fragment. Where's the fragment?
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural. Because, of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
I knew it!
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate. Okay. I don't know why you need to concentrate, but okay, whatever. Monokuma file number 5. That's literally it. Okay.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
The knife was a cover-up and all the other wounds on her body wasn't fresh, which only leaves...
Then shall...
Okay, so let's look at the Monokuma file, because I doubt it's actually part of it, but just in case. The victim had been stabbed a single time with a knife, which went through. They also had been struck with the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe, and the body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old. Okay.
We continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
So
the explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Okay,
well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
No.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
I think it's the countless wounds, but it could be the head.
Then shall we continue the debate?
So I can just go the head.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
It went right through.
Yeah.
It went right through.
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it.
There was evidence that showed she was hit on the
back
and
of
more
the head
than that,
wouldn't do it, but a bunch of wounds can kill
The victim
you.
had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's it.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
Oh, it wasn't that.
Shoot!
Don't yell at me. Jeez.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Victim's fatal injury. Is it that? And all those wounds, all those other wounds on her body weren't fresh.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
Okay.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file,
I guess maybe the
that's
back of the
gotta
head.
be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Not back of the head bit.
Shoot!
Then shall we continue the debate?
We do know
The
that
victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion
I'm
didn't
thinking,
kill
alright,
Yeah.
I could
And it
actually use the
wasn't
Monokuma because they literally
yeah.
reference the Monokuma file.
That's gotta be it.
And more than that, the victim had suffered
kinda dumb on
countless
my
wounds
part.
across her entire...
So I'm pretty sure.
Then shall we continue the
debate?
debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah.
It's so
And it
bloody close to
wasn't
the
even-
thing. It just
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
quite-
That's gotta be it.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire...
Please, I know what it is.
Then shall we
Just
continue?
let me
The
go back
victim's
to it.
fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
It's not that either. What the hell?
Shoot!
Oh my god, I don't know what it is. I don't know
Then
what it
shall we
is.
continue? The victim's fatal.
The explosion
That's the only
didn't
thing
kill
I can think of.
and it wasn't even.
So like,
Oh yeah.
would be able to get this
According
thing
to
right
that's
here.
gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more
So
than
hit in the
that,
back
the
of the
victim had
head.
suffered countless wounds across her
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well,
Nah, I have to
yeah.
go all
And
the
it
way
wasn't
back just to get the
even-
stupid back of the
yeah.
head wound.
That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of.
And more than that, the
come
victim
on,
had
come
suffered countless wounds across her
Hurry up.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet.
There we go.
No,
There we
that's
go.
wrong.
There's our bit. That took a little too long, but we did it. Just used the wrong thing.
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground, and spit on it.
What kind of foreplay is this?
I feel the same way! Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
Is it a shovel? Because I think it's a shovel. The real murder weapon. It's fake nails. It's gotta be fake nails. Not knife. The woodblock key. It might be the woodblock key. Let me look at this too. There appears to be 10 in total. Just a set of titanium arrows. We got the bloody tape. Along with the arrows, there was a big wad of walled up things. I'm gonna say woodblock key. Oh, dang it. I didn't do it right. Dang it.
Shoot!
Oh, well. We got a game over. Oh, well. I should be able to continue from where I left off. Okay.
Is this...
Yes, let's give it a bloody neck.
I refuse to give up yet!
I hate when I lose this way, but oh well.
Mukuro died because of...
Okay, yeah. All this bit. The real murder weapon. It's not any of the wood blocks, so there's only a few other pieces to this. Let's look at his account. Okay, it's just that. But what does her account say? Okay. So I guess it's the titanium arrows.
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
An arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kinda weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master! You have no right!
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for downing it, because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. What is this one more secret? Gotta make another argument? Okay, jeez. Bloody duct tape, I guess?
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master! You have no right!
I mean, they are titanium arrows. Wouldn't be nearly thick enough, which is why they used.
The titanium arrow.
Okay, so let's just look at the titanium arrows real quick, see what that's all about. So the titanium arrows was found in the locker room. There appear to be 10 in total. That's all it is. And the wood block. Looks like it's actually the key to one of the lockers in the dojo. I mean, I guess the wood block is the only thing is the bloody duct tape. Along with the arrows, there was also a lot of that ball of duct tape in the locker. The tape has traces of blood, but on it, it's also assumed that it's related to the case, but nobody can imagine how. I doubt they died by duct tape. I doubt that that's the thing that they're trying to, like, show out. So...
It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
I mean,
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Well, it's because they're
Talking
arrows.
back to Master!
You can use all the arrows at once.
You have no right!
I mean, you can. So I'm guessing it's just the arrows.
The titanium
Arrow. It was in the dojo. I have no doubt.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced.
Well, 'cause it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe. It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Ah!
Talking back to Master! You have no right!
It just kept going down. Okay, so
The titanium. It was in the dojo. I have no doubt.
Are you sure?
You don't sound
Well, it said the weapon must... It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to
I did
Master!
not. Okay, so
You have no
it's the third
right!
and last one.
The titanium.
come
It was
on.
in the dojo. I have no doubt.
Are you sure?
You don't sound
Well, it said the weapon must
Okay,
have
right
been
around
about
here.
as thick as a metal pipe. It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Nope, that was not it. That was not correct. Okay.
Shoot!
Would it be the wood block? Though? I really
The
doubt it's
titanium
wood block.
arrow. It was in the
Bloody duct
dojo
tape.
locker, right?
I really don't see how
I have
bloody duct
no
tape would
doubt
really be it.
that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced.
But we don't
What's
really
the
have
problem?
anything else to it, so
Well,
I guess
'Cause
that
in
is
the
our key.
Monokuma file,
The bloody
it
duct
said
tape.
the weapon must have been
I don't know
about
what
as
else it could
thick as
be.
a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Ah, why did it go?
Talking back
It
to
was
Master!
right
You have
through.
no right!
It was right there. Alright, come
The
on, bloody duct
titanium.
tape.
It was
Hurry
in the
up.
dojo. I have no doubt.
Are you sure?
You don't sound
It's
convinced.
forever.
'Cause it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe. It seems like an arrow would just be too
Dang
thin.
It was just a little
Talking
bit
back to
too
You have
far off.
no right!
Ah,
The titanium.
Just-
It was in the
just-
dojo. I have no doubt.
Are you
weird
sure?
that
You don't
this is
sound
just
con-
relies on
It
actual
said
like
the weapon must have been
hand-eye
about as
coordination.
thick as a metal pipe. It seems
a
like an
long
arrow
There
would
you
just
go,
be...
There we go. That's it.
No, that's wrong.
Because he bundled up all the arrows together with duct tape, and then went kablamo.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Duct tape.
Inside the
Man's greatest enemy.
dojo locker, we also found a balled up wad of duct tape. The killer probably uses duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Like a mighty fag. No, seriously, that's what fag means. It means a bundle of sticks. It was also used as a term for gay people because they would use gay people to actually fuel the witches that they burned at the stake as bundles of sticks. Quite horrifying, actually. But you know, hey, history. It's terrible.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, It was you, Kyoko.
Dang. who
I've
would've
never
guessed?
been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto?
Nope. I had no idea what you're talking about. Let's save here, just in case it's a save spot here. I don't know when the trigger happens, honestly. I just know it happens at some point in this case thing.
What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer.
Ooh.
You know what will happen if you do, don't you?
Oh.
If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to. The death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I have evidence? Evidence that Kyoko went to the dojo. It must be getting into the dojo locker. I'm not sure if this is a trigger. I really doubt it this one is. If anything, it just
got
kind
it!
of shows.
The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
If anything, this, like, she doesn't have access to her room.
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Just give her time, Bakuya. Just give her time.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
Because she's the waifu to Makoto. Come on.
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I just like to think that she says, I just like to watch you sleep. Like, I would love to hear that, just like her saying that, just randomly. It's like one of those weird couple things, but she's like extra creepy about it.
I was just protecting you.
Oh, damn! That's a cool line. She won my heart with that.
What?
She was protecting me? Then does that mean she knew I was being attacked? And she came to my rescue? Could that be when... Which would mean that Kyoko... She killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
Ooh, gotcha. Gotcha. Also, I just want to do this again because I'm pretty sure this is the trigger right here. I'm 10% positive. 30% positive.
I should know?
What? The kid should know better than anyone? What does that mean? It means he took the key, you idiot. You idiot. Goodness. When the body was found.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Wait, Kyoko gave her room key to Bakuya, right? Which would mean...
Those
so
words you
it's
just
probably the
spoke.
last little bit
Exactly,
that I have to
I'm
actually
not
get
the...
it.
You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya,
What are you—
Master would never hide something from me.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that
Okay,
what you're
so that's
saying?
the one that I
You
gotta
stated
knock
a
out.
theory earlier. You said I hid the
right around
evidence of
here.
my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct?
Locker
But
key in my own room.
could I
Yeah,
really
that
have
should
done
be it
that?
right there. Okay, cool. So it's
Those
right
words
around
you
here.
just spoke.
Exactly.
I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something
Right
from
around
me.
here, right?
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
Gotcha.
No,
Gotcha.
that's wrong.
Get done, Baku. Get done, Bakugan.
If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room
Why not?
because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room,
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
it would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There's a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us. An obvious lie. Even though that's also not. Yeah, just this is the thing. This is the thing that's like, oh, that's the trigger right there. That's definitely the trigger. Definitely the trigger. And we're gonna throw her under the bus. Quack quack quack. But this just isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie. Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Or something else? Was there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier? You vote for me, and I die here. The mystery of the school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen. This is a trap the Mastermind has laid for us. The Mastermind's trap. The Mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko? But what if that's not really true? What can I do? I'm gonna do it right here. I'm pretty sure it's right here. I'm just trying to be as close to the trigger as possible, so I don't have to go through a bunch of phases, a bunch of dialogue. Save's coming. It works. What should I do? What should I? The Mastermind's trap. The victim was Mokuro, and Kyoko killed her. What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? Am I supposed to? The Mastermind's trap. If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but that risk means solving the mystery. We have no choice. Am I wrong? What should I do? I have to decide right here and now whether to pursue the lie. Let it go. Run away! We're gonna pursue the lie. Now, just so you all know, that's the bad thing. You don't want to do that, but we're gonna do it anyway.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you. So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
Kyoko is definitely lying. And it must be because there's some other deeper truth she wants to keep hidden. Oh no. This little bit. I'm surprised there's a little more to this. Kyokyo's account.
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
So it's right there. That's
You are
that's the
correct.
bit.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then, when we searched Kyoko's room, how else could the key have gotten there?
Someone other than me must have put it there. That's the only explanation.
I mean, it's not really the only explanation. Kyoko herself told me about the trial before the trial started. She had stolen something very important to the headmaster's room.
I didn't have the key to my room.
Alright, so we're gonna actually look. What did she say exactly? Kyoko's thing. Secret tool which grants access to any room. Okay, yeah, that's so it's definitely
Because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So where do I
So I
press?
couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then...
No! It was right there.
How
It
else
was
could the-
right bloody
Someone
there.
other than me must have
Oh
put it
my
there.
god.
That's... I didn't have because I'd given it. There's no doubt.
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Oh, barely. Just like at
No,
the very
that's
end.
wrong.
Gotcha! Try to frame me, I'll frame you. Gotta frame the framers, you know?
No. Kyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself. Didn't you, Kyoko?
Actually, to be precise, not quite. I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. What?
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school, which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing...
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it. So I lost. That's all this means.
Huh? Then, are you saying you really didn't...
You done messed up, Makoto. You done messed up.
Kyoko, you really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you. But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't we?
Huh? Sorry, fam, we had to do it. We need those two endings. We need them. And as much as I love Kyoko, as much as she's my favorite girl, along with Sakura and Donut Girl. Well, I guess they're my OTP. I don't know. Good job. You got it right. Brilliantly right. We got it right. Does that mean Kyoko really is the killer? But something strange is going on here. There's something wrong with this whole class trial. Kyoko!
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
Is everyone ready? Okay then.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
Kyoko has been found guilty. Oh no. That's the bad bit. She's so scared. She used to be so calm and collected beforehand. Oddly enough, you do not see this in the anime because you get the true end for the anime. So I haven't rightly seen this execution. A lot of Japanese and all. Why is there sperm? Was she supposed to be learning like sex stuff? What the heck? Dang, there's a lot of terror in her eyes, but she's accepting it like a champ though. Ugh. Getting squished like that? No bueno. That's not a good. And that's how the class trial of Mokuru Ikusaba came to the end. I still had to wonder whether Kyoko was actually innocent, or... Regardless, the truth was lost forever. Even for me. I just stopped thinking about it. That was the end of Mokuru's class trial. And in the end, it would provide to be our last class trial. Once the case was over, there was never a single murder at Host Peak ever again. And oddly enough, you know the thing that, whatchamacalls, Hiro said beforehand, how he's like, there's not going to be a murder anymore? He was right. And he was also right about something else around here. If you got spotted. We had attained peace in exchange for the lives of all the others. Peace, but only inside the school. Peace, but only for us. That was the only hope we had. Hope. Hope. Hope? This is hope?
No! This isn't right!
Huh?
Makoto, why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
Her claim? Oh, that's right. I had to... Do I expose Kyoko's lie or not? Oh, dang, it takes you right back. If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we had no choice. Am I wrong? She's not wrong. I have to think about this very carefully. What do I do? I have to decide right here and now. Yeah, let it go. We gotta be like Frozen. I made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here. Something that has to do with the Mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What?
It had to be Makoto, right?
Dang, savage.
I don't see any other option.
Oh, wait a second. You've got it all wrong.
Nope, it was all you, Makoto. I can't believe you, dirty, filthy liar. You're the worst kind.
Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the Mastermind set for us. So that's why... This has to be...
No, this sounds like a desperate plea from someone that just doesn't want to get killed. That's all it is. It's just, he clearly is a killer.
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
Oh, that's fair.
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
I thought it was lever. I thought it was pronounced lever.
Voting time?
I wonder who they're gonna vote for. Yeah, we did good for the most part. Then there's this one part that hecked us up pretty dang badly. Oh, cool, we got A, though. That's good. Yay, we got a bunch of coins. It's good. It's a good bit.
Now, who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Hey, hold on!
on! What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Ooh, boy. Someone's found guilty. I knew it. He was a dang killer. Kyoko got him right for dead to rights. I told you all. It was clear. He did it. He had the opportunity, the chance. What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's all your fault. Everyone, you're wrong. You got it all wrong. I didn't do it.
Yes, indeed.
Good job, everyone. Good job.
Yep.
Yeah, they got it right. No, I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. This whole trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey!
It makes perfect sense.
Shing!
It's the same as always. It's just like all the other class trials. And I'm gonna end it the same way.
Thrills, chills, kills!
It's time for your heart-pounding, possibly thrilling punishment. Wait, what did I do? Kyoko?
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko?
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!